Hello, hello, hello. This is Sydney with Healthy Passions. If you do not know me, let me briefly introduce myself. I am a certified personal trainer, certified wellness coach, certified energy healer by birth. I am an oracle, prophetess, and a natural healer. So today's Herbal Friday, we're going to start with Chicory. And I think this is where I left off. I did take a little break there. I have learned to stop apologizing for the breaks that I take. I am um a heavy studier, and sometimes my mind gets kind of tired and I'll take a break off, or the Most High tell me to rest my mind and go from there. So sometimes it will be a little break. So it's been about 2 weeks since I did this, but um, when I need to take a break, I'll take a break, or if the Most High tells me to take a break, I'll definitely take a break. So here we are with the Chicory. It's Chicory. This is what we're doing for the Healthy Passions Herbal Fridays. So if you're new here, every Friday I like to try to get an herb out for you. Sometimes I'll do 2 or 3, especially if I know I'm going to take a little break in between time. But every week there should be something, and if not something, I will post something in writing for Herbal Friday, so you'll still have that. Like last week I didn't post a video, but I did do like a posting of a herb. So I like to talk about these things because these are the things we're gonna have to know when certain things become a shortage to us, like nursing. That's already a huge issue with the shortage, especially here in America. Hospitals closing down, things like that. We need to know how to heal and care for our families. All right, so let's do this one. Chicory. Common chicory is an annual and biannual plant in the aster daisy family. All right, it originated from Eurasia, and it is found throughout North America, where it is known as an invasive species in several places. Common chicory is also called blue daisy, blue dandelion, blue sailors. Excuse me, that's blue sailors, blue weed, coffee weed, cornflower, succory, S-U-C-C-O-R, excuse me, Succory, and wild bachelor's buttons, and then wild endive, and then horseweed. So there's very different names for it. So just in case you are curious about plants and you're learning more about them, there are a lot of apps that I've used myself that kind of, if you take a picture of the plant, it'll tell you about the plant, what it's good for, things like that. So there are some plant apps you can use. All right. So chicory is easy to identify by its purple colored flowers when it blooms. Its stems are rigid with hairy long lower stems, but they're bright purple. Its alternate I can't even talk. Its alternate lobe leaves are coarsely toothed and similar to dandelion. So that's why they call it the blue dandelion, right? In its appearance. So that's what it looks like. So let me go here. I'm going to go to the actual part. Okay, so the leaves have a bitter taste, which can be reduced by boiling them and draining them. So if you boil those leaves, you can get some of that bitterness out and then draining them. They're recommending that you use the leaves young and then boil them. And then you can saute them with garlic and butter. Like that's a good way for them. That way they won't be so bitter. But the most famous use of chicory is as a coffee alternative or substitute. You can roast the roots and grind them. The roots may be eaten raw or cooked, so that's a good use for them. So there's an alternative for coffee. So for the people who aren't allowed to drink coffee, this is a good one alternative, or you want to change it up to a more natural, this is a good alternative. All right, so medical uses. Chicory roots and seeds have eliminated intestinal worms and parasites, are antibacterial, antifungal, and let me see this word, God. This is going to be, oh, here we go. Hepatoprotective. All right, so that's HEPATO, protective. Okay, so there we go. So roots are Being studied for the use in cancer. The flowers and the leaves are used also medicinally as a mild diuretic. So we have, it's good for intestinal worms and parasites, antibacterial and antifungal, right? So that means if I am out and I am craving something horribly strong, or I notice that there may be an issue that is conducive with a parasite or some type of intestinal worm that's causing me to crave certain foods, this is what this is good for. That's just an example. All right, you can use it as a sedative or anesthetic. I can't even say it. The milky juice from the fresh root of chicory is similar to a milky sap of the wild lettuce. Okay, also in this book, so we'll cover that one too. They contain lactosin and lactoserine, which are sedative and pain killing. They are, hold on. Okay, so when you touch them, it's recommended that you use gloves if you're using it for someone else because of that quality. To use latex gloves. If you want a liquid form, to dry them and then extract it for medical high proof alcohol or some type of oil versus in water. Pain relief is similar in the ibuprofen, so it's as potent or as effective as ibuprofen. So the antibacterial and antifungal. Chicory seeds and roots extracts are antibacterial and antifungal seeds with work against E. coli, Candida, and gosh, this is a long one. Staphylococcus perscamdomus. I don't know why they use these long ass names for these bacterium, but anyway, the roots work to kill the Staphylococcus aureus and Salmonella, E. coli, and mycocosis, I can't say, which is as well as athlete's foot, ringworm, and jock itch. So this is pretty potent and very interesting. Guys, if you've noticed, sometimes I don't have time to write down my notes and I'll just read out the book, because sometimes they have these ridiculously long words. So like I said before, I'm not a doctor. I just like to share information to get people interested in herbs so they know what they can do and what they're good for. This is to get you to do your own research, basically. So don't, worry about the way I pronounce something. Get it on your computer or get in a book. I prefer books. Get in a book and learn it yourself and see how well you pronounce it. Thanks. This for the people that like talk a lot of shit. I'm not the one, but not that I have an attitude or anything like that, but this is something I do on my own time. I don't get paid for this, so I just like to share information about it. So what I like about this one as well, Candida, it's like a yeast type situation. That's a very common issue, especially here in the United States, probably everywhere, but here in the United States I hear about it a lot, like in males and females. So that's a good thing that it fights. But also the E. coli, oh my god, I haven't had E. coli before, but I've seen people who've had it, and it is something that makes them extremely sick. So this is good for that as well. Athlete's foot. So my athletes, when y'all are running and doing all that stuff, sometimes you get athlete's foot or even jock itch. So, and that ringworm is fairly common. So let's go to the next section. So the anti-parasitic and malaria. So chicory, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Chicory root alcoholic extractions eliminate intestinal worms, and the Protozoan The protozin, I believe that's pronouncing it right, responsible for cerebral malaise. Oh, okay, cool. The root contains lactose, so it's something about this sappy milk that it produces. It's used for multiple things. Um, I want to actually do a little more research into this one because it looks like it's claiming a lot, that it heals a lot, and I'm just really curious into that. So this is that sappy milk that it does. It's for the malaria, but for parasites, you can also mix a half cup of raw pumpkin seeds, half cup of water, and a half cup of almond milk, and use every morning for about 3 days, and along with plenty of water throughout the day, and that will get rid of a parasite. So this plant is pretty potent. I'm actually surprised at how potent it is. So the liver and gallbladder disorders. The leaves, seeds, and roots of chicory are used to treat liver disorders. They are, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, so I'm going to spell it HEPATO, protective, and they promote the I know, and they promote the secretions of bile and treat jaundice and okay, sorry about that. They promote the secretion of bile. Sorry, my dad was trying to let me know something. The secretion of bile. They treat jaundice and they treat enlargement of the spleen. So they help fatty liver and detox the liver. So that is a really good thing to look into and get into with your doctor to see, because that's excellent. Diabetes, chicory leaves, tinctures, leaf powders, or a whole plant alcoholic extraction helps regulate insulin levels, stimulates insulin secretion, and it lowers blood glucose levels. So that's excellent for diabetics. Digestive problems and ulcers, chicory. Coffee or tea made from the roots helps treat digestive problems and ulcers. So it's an alternative for coffee, but it has a good side effect if you have ulcers and helps with digestive problems. So it's actually a good alternative to coffee. So skin eruptions and swelling and inflammation. For external use, wash blemishes with the chicory leaf infusion, or apply crushed leaves as a poultice to the areas of inflammation. Many people report that the chicory infusion used as a wash nourishes the skin. It gives it a more radiant and youthful appearance. It can be used as a face and body wash daily. All right, there we go. That's it. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. It was very hard for me to get this out. I have to deal with my allergies today. We live in an area where my allergies are really horrible because I am allergic to two types of trees, and both trees are right here where I stay. So that's why I have such horrible allergies here. I would have them anyway, but not as bad as when I'm actually allergic to something. So I do apologize, guys. But if you do look into this, like I said, I am not a doctor. I am a personal trainer. I'm a holistic health coach. I've been working with herbs, food, and holistic health for over 20 years. However, like I said, I am not a doctor, so what I want you to do is, if you do decide, after you do your research, to work with an herb, any type of plant or anything like that, I want you to do your research heavily, check out the side effects of things as well. So we don't just look at the good part when you're doing the research. You also want to look at some of the negative parts that could affect you when using any type of herb. And then I want you to work with your doctors and your dietitians to make sure that you are not allergic to these things, that you might not have a horrible side effect based on some other medications you are taking. So basically, I'm asking you to use your common sense. Don't just start taking an herb and you don't know nothing about it, okay? I love you guys. Take care. Have a great day.